Hey viewer, we are going to jump into the first Unity tutorial, Unit 1 of the JPP. So, we're going to call this project Unit 1. Unit 1 Junior Programming Pathway. So it's divided into 4 parts. The first part is just setting up your scene. Download, install Unity, log into Unity Learn, get these free files, make your project, blank 3D project, and get right into it. It's the optimal way to do this is actually no AI and just follow the video, watch, and then code. So when you load in, this is what it's going to be in a blank project. We're going to add this. What this adds is base assets and this scene. Prototype 1. What we're going to do is we're going to make a custom folder. Custom. And now inside this folder, let's add, let's do 1.1. So step 1 of 4. We're going to make our game world. Set up everything we need for the later steps. Control S after Control N. Custom my map. And now with all these assets loaded and everything set up file-wise, we have a road. We want an NPC and a player vehicle, so that's going to be in vehicles. And with this set up, we also want to have 2 types of collision. So a collision that blocks everything and physics collision. So when we imported all these models, they came with a collider, which we will figure out what happens to them. So let's get, when we hit play, our main camera is there. The world comes with a main camera, so what we're going to do is we're going to position the camera to a cool location. So once you have your vehicle, you're going to just put it somewhere, and then you are actually going to put the main camera inside the vehicle. We're going to just rename this to tank. I hope that's not too political. Pressing on, we are going to have our bus over here. That's a pretty cool bus. Let's play. Let's see what would happen if that bus was moving. So we're going to go to our custom folder we created, create a source folder because we cool like that. So with that made, we're going to create a C# script called bus. So with bus, it's going to have some boilerplate code, and that's cool. So we're going to delete the top one, so update happens all the time. And let's have our bus move forward. So this is some code, it's a script, it's text. So we're going to put this text on an object, and that object's going to do things. The object we're putting this on is the bus, so we're going to transform the bus. So we're going to change something about its location, rotation, and we're going to translate it, and we're going to move it. So we're going to move it vector 3, so 3D space forward times, let's do snake case bus speed times time dot delta time. So what time dot delta time is the game world time, and you want your bus to operate in game world time. So with bus speed here, we defined it outside of update, and we called it public. So now in the Unity editor, we can actually view this. So we're gonna literally drag the script from here to there. And now we have our script here. We could have it go at 4. Let's 14. Wow, that's crazy. So it just goes through it. I believe adding a box collider here will make that okay. Cool. We'll adding a box collider onto this. Also do the thing. Oh no. Alright, pause the video, folks. Oh, okay. So I just added a box collider to to things that already had colliders. What we want to add is a rigid body to simulate physics. So if one object's simulating physics and another isn't, that's going to happen. Now let's see. So this has a collider, this has a collider, this has a collider and a rigid body. So this only has a collider. Let's see if what happens when a collider and a rigid body. Gonna have to look pretty fast. So there is actually some, first of all, the physics are glitchy. Second of all, there is actually some movement of this versus the rock. So what we're gonna do here, and this is really cool, we have working gameplay stuff. So we could actually just change its scale to 2 and shift click it. Let's make a new folder in custom called prefab, for prefabricated things that are ready to go, you know. So create empty, and we're gonna call this Boxtown. So with Boxtown, now we have Boxtown there. Oh wow, we are missing one. That's all right. We just gotta redo it. We are gonna put. Can we? You know, sometimes it just be like that. So shift click is to select more, and control click is to deselect. So create empty box, big box. Can we add one more crate to it? So now we have it confirmed. We can drag and drop it. And we have original. So we haven't made any changes to Cool Rock over here, and we have a working bus as well. So cool bus. So now we have some stuff happening in our world, and now let's get some stuff happening with the player in our world. So going to our source folder, let's create a script called tank. We actually know we're playing as the tank, so we're just gonna slap this onto not the I guess the whole tank object. Well, I don't know if that's gonna work. I believe you want to slap it onto the, you know what, we'll find out. Just put it on the tank. So we're gonna want variables for player input, variables for tank movement. So public float tank speed, how fast do we want the tank to move, and we can also change it in the editor. And then we're going to do the same for turn speed. So when we save this, hop into the editor, click tank, you're going to see these things. We still can't do anything. If you ever press the keyboard button, so when you press the button, that's a state of true. So when we press A and D for movement, there's actually 4 different values there, but let's just focus on one button. So there's 2 different values there. So like horizontal is going to be A and D, and then Unity preferences, like Unity base is set up to work when you call access, which we're going to do later. But we need to get the input for when our player is pressing the move forward, forward being vertical, and forward backward being vertical, AWS and AD being horizontal. So Now with our variables set up, we are gonna go to our buddy void update. I believe it's uppercase. And this is gonna happen all of the time. So what we want to happen all of the time is we're gonna, the code's actually right here, so I'm just gonna walk us through it. Okay, we're gonna get the player input, which is just input vertical, so our previously defined variable. And what I was talking about with the Unity system, let's actually just look at it. So if you go to edit, project settings, input, it's set up. So, numbers, not strings. A string number is not the same as a float number, CS 0. And you could actually just leave them like this, because they will initialize to 0. So, now, when we hit play, we are going to continuously get information. So check it out. When I'm holding S, it's -1. When I'm pressing W, I'm pressing A and D. Now the final thing we have to do is add our movement. So we're going to do a little bit of an advanced thing right here. So get input. Update happens all the time in game, and void update, late update. Late update is not really that late. It is happening all the time too, and it's happening right after update. So now if we move and turn the tank a little bit after getting our input, it's going to feel smoother than if we had both these lines of code. Excuse me. This is going to move faster. So if we do this, the tank is going to work. It's just happening at a hyperspace versus having it at the bottom. So the biggest things here is if you take out the vectors, well actually the vectors were, what's different from this than our other thing? We have our vector for direction, forward and up for turning, and we have tank speed for how fast we want to move forward, and tank turn speed for how fast we want to turn. And then we have the game time, just like before. However, now we have our keyboard binary, our 1 or 0 press, which is input vertical and horizontal, and this is going to add interaction into our gameplay world. So we might have to tweak the settings, and we actually don't have to go into the code now. We can drag those values and change it, so we have a working tank with an interactable game world. So there are some additional challenges, such as switching cameras. But don't worry, there's a tutorial there. If this video hits 10 likes, I'll go over challenge 1, plain programming. So, without anything else, play the game, learn the game. Later, folks.